Morning, everybody. I won't be on video today, but I can hear you.
How's it going? Good?
Yeah, it's going good. I like your glasses.
Oh, yeah. So I've ordered readers off of Amazon. And
Really?
this is what comes when you order it off of Amazon.
That's great.
But now I'm so desperate for the glasses, I'm kind of stuck with them. So it is what it is.
Cute. Hey, Max.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? I'm sorry I'm not on video today, but I can hear everybody.
That's okay. I'm sure you look great.
I would beg to differ, but we've got folks joining, and I'm sure we'll probably have folks kind of joining even a couple minutes in, but
Yeah, no,
I'll continue to just let everybody in as they come.
Cool. Candy's coming on.
Max, I heard it was your birthday recently.
No, but it was
No.
my son's.
Your
Mine's in October,
birthday.
but my son's birthday was yesterday, and he's the only 8-year-old I know that loves sushi more than adults. So we took him to Uchiko.
Very nice. My best friend's daughter, she actually loves sushi too, and she's 8, so maybe they should be friends.
It's crazy. And I mean, he ate all the things. So it was pretty awesome.
Very cool. Hey, everybody, we've got quite the group coming in. Glad to see everybody's joining.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Craig. Craig, did you get that contract converted okay over to financing?
I'm literally doing it right now.
Do you want me to forward you the one that I did recently just so you could see it?
Sure, that would be helpful.
I will do that.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
No problem.
Hey, Max.
How are you, Craig?
Good, sir. Yourself?
Good. Good to talk
Awesome.
to you.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for your time this morning.
Absolutely. We appreciate you having us on. Just a second.
Max, if it's okay, I'm going to give it till 10:05 because we had about 20 yeses on our invite and we've got 13 participants so far.
Yeah, no, that's great. And yeah, for all of y'all that don't know, this is Candy Buzon who just signed on. She's going to be taking over Leaman team, kind of the day-to-day stuff. Me and Candy have, I'll do the introduction a little bit when everybody else gets on, but me and Candy have been together for about 15 years. So it's all very exciting.
Cool.
I'm very excited to be here. I had to unmute. Sorry about that. I'm like, okay, I'm talking to myself now.
How many agents do y'all have now, Lauren?
We are up to the low 30s, I think about 33.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We've brought on some new folks over the past couple months, but
Yeah.
all great people. Add to
I
our
imagine.
already wonderful group of people.
That's awesome.
All right, well, I will continue to let folks in as they want to join Max, but for everyone that doesn't know Max, this is Max Leaman with Loan People. Him and his team of wonderful folks do an amazing job with financing, so he is one of our top preferred lenders. And today he's kind enough to kind of give us a state of the union of the current financial climate. I know rates have been going up, and that's been a big talk this year. So Max and Candy, I'm gonna hand it over to you and let you do your thing.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. Thank you guys for letting us come. It's good to see a lot of you guys. First and foremost, Candy Buzon is going to be taking over as branch manager for Leaman team. We're working on that transition now. Candy and I have worked together for 15 years, and we co-managed at Prime and New American. And now that we're growing Loan People, Candy's going to help take over the day-to-day on Leaman team. So in addition to the loan officer, she's available nights, she's available weekends, text, cell phone, office, all of those things.
All the above.
So,
Right.
whatever y'all need, we've got everything covered there. So yeah, we can just kind of dive right into it. About Leaman team, for some of y'all that don't know, we've been the #1 loan officer team in Austin and in Texas for the last 10 years. We've been top 10 in the nation in that same time. Last year, last year's stats were really interesting. 2021's not out yet. 2020 was interesting because a lot of guys were high up on the list, but they were primarily refi transactions. And so when you go down, we were #1 for purchase percentage transactions at about 65%. One of the things that we did through that whole low rate crazy time is we did not focus on refinances. It was great to have them, but we are a purchase first team. We're a purchase first company. That other stuff is great, but purchase by day, refi by night, as we like to say. And now those days are gone. We're far off from the 2.5% rate that we were at. To kind of give you guys an idea, about December 12th, the average rate was about 3.12. As of yesterday, it was 4.12. It'll probably be 4.10 today. The market's doing a little bit better this morning, so we'll see. But in a 2-month period, we've seen rates come up a full point, and close to a half a point in the last month. On January 18th, the average rate was 3.7. So things are moving quickly. MBA forecasted that rates would be 4% by the end of the year. We're again higher than that now on average. Whenever you see rates spike like this so quickly, there is generally some sort of correction. With the Fed and everything that's going on there, who knows when that could happen, how high we could go until we get a correction. I'm kind of the belief we might see rates get to 4.25, 4.375, and then maybe come back down a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see them drop below 4 at some point later this year. But time will tell. The good news is it's not slowing down people wanting to buy homes. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but we have more pre-qualifications coming through now than we had this time last year. We have less purchase contracts coming in because there's less inventory, but there's no shortage on people wanting to buy. So y'all doing y'all's thing and finding stuff off market and all of those things that make y'all great agents is really important for all these buyers because, as you know, this market's really tough. One of the things that we get a lot of questions on is appraisals and value because, we're back to, not that we really ever left, but going a good amount over list price. I ran a stat, and this is on Loan People, the total company. We did 793 purchase loans between July 1st and January 25th. In that time frame, 83 of them did not make value. So it was about 12% were short on value. On average, they were short about 5% of the contract price. I had been hearing people talk about 20% weren't appraising, 25% weren't appraising. So it was kind of good to see that that number was much lower for us than what other people felt. Now, I don't know if they were really running actual numbers or if it's just how they felt. Feelings are one thing, but along those lines, and a lot of you that have worked with us before know we have a really great relationship with iAppraisal. They're our preferred appraisal management company. One of the things that y'all will see is when an offer is over list price, they will be sending out an email that says, hey, send us your best comps now. What are you looking at? And they'll try to take out that back and forth at the very end if things don't make value. But what they're trying to do is gather all the data up front. Their goal is obviously they want things to come and make value when they can. Obviously, there's guidelines and everything that we have to adhere to. But they do what they can as much as possible to make sure that we are getting the value. Obviously, so far, 12% of the time, that hasn't happened, but apparently the numbers could be much worse. So other things that we're finding with rates going up, niches in the market, different types of loan products. And we've really made a focus on making sure we have all these different options so that people can get approved when they are self-employed and don't show a lot of income. We have options for up to 20 financed properties for investors. We have options that are called DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, where the borrower doesn't have to qualify with any income. We qualify solely based on the projected or actual rental income of the investment property that they're buying. So there's a bunch of different calculations, but say the mortgage payment's $1,000. If the rent comes in at $1,200, that's fine. We don't care about their income or anything else. Obviously credit score and down payment, but no qualifying. So for self-employed people specifically, that's great. We also have a lot of different options for asset depletion, where we can take your assets and turn it into income. We have one of the most aggressive products out there. I've not seen anybody else with what we've got, to the extent that for every $1 million of usable assets that we have, you get just over $13,000 a month in income. So a lot of these guys moving, people from Amazon specifically, we've seen a lot of, and some Facebook, where they've got a ton of cash and they're quitting their job and moving here. They still qualify, and at decent rates. The rates really are not terrible. Right now those rates are kind of mid fours. I have a new product coming out probably in about 2 to 3 weeks, where as long as they have enough money that they could pay cash for the house and pay whatever obligations they have on their credit report for 60 months, they qualify. That's it. And that'll be a jumbo loan product as well. So we're really focusing on, now that things are getting more difficult, how do we help these people that don't qualify with a normal loan get into a home? And so there's pretty much from that perspective nothing that we can't do. So that's what I got. That's what we've got going on, and where the market is in rates. Do y'all have does anybody have any questions for us? Don't everybody speak at once.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
better.com and those types of people that are out there doing internet loans.
Yep.
How do you compete? Are you having any issues? Are you losing deals to them?
Some, yeah, specifically better. You know, a lot of these guys on these online lenders, they're losing money, right? Better lost 89 million in the second quarter of last year. And I just read an article this morning. I don't want to misquote it, but I think the number was about 180 million in Q4 of last year. Better specifically, their model seems to be, let's lose millions to be worth billions, but those days might actually be gone. As you probably all saw, they had to lay off 900 employees, and a lot of that stuff. You know, the one thing that people need to realize, and it really helps from a lender's perspective with when the agents push this too, because when a lender says it, maybe it doesn't hold as much weight, but rate is not the most important thing. And if you're getting caught up in an eighth of a point or a quarter of a point, you're missing the bigger picture. Are you going to close on time? Are you going to be able to get an appraisal, right? That's number one. We get more deals because someone started with a Better or a Quicken or whomever. And by the way, Quicken's rates are actually terrible compared to just about everybody. But they start with these other companies and the appraisers don't want to accept their orders. Why? Because the appraisers that we have are local and they have a relationship with us. No, I'm not allowed to say, Dean, go do this appraisal and Susan, go do this appraisal. But I've worked with all the appraisers in our rotation for 20 years. And if they're not available to take our orders, they know that we'll start we'll take them out of the rotation and get other people in. So you might be getting a rate that's a quarter, maybe if it's Better, it's 50, it's half a point lower, but you're not going to close on time because you're not going to be able to get an appraisal. And when you do get an appraisal, it's going to be twice as expensive and it's not going to be a great thing. So there's a lot of that goes on. You know, we close loans in 3 weeks. That's standard. That's what we do. If you have a customer that has some sort of niche product, or we've got a super jumbo loan, you know, it's $1.5 million to 2 million, and we need 2 appraisals, we might tell you 30 days on that. But for the most part, 3 weeks for everything. And our appraisals, as you know, those of y'all that have worked with us a lot know, you know, they come in about a week before closing. We have the arrangement with our AMC that we prioritize everything by closing date and not by order date. So if you've got a closing date that's 6 weeks out, that's great, but your appraisal is not going to come back in 2 weeks. Now it can, and we can pay for a rush and do all of that, but to keep the process moving and to keep everybody closing on time, this is the process that we've come up with. And to that extent too, when we have refis, we put refis on 60-day closes, and those appraisals get pushed out into the back of the line. Purchase first. The other thing, and I mentioned Quicken earlier, a lot of people think Quicken and Rocket Mortgage have the best rates. You know, so I might tell someone today the rate's 4%, and they'll say, well, I was getting 3.5 with Quicken. Quicken is the king specifically of not disclosing over the phone points that people are paying. But undoubtedly, every time we get an estimate from a Rocket Mortgage that's at that half a point lower rate, there's 3 or 4 points involved with that. Which then we can be better than that. It's also not something that we would recommend doing, paying that many points. But you know, it's not just about rate. It's about rate and fees and service and all of those things. Specifically with Better, when I have somebody that calls me and says I'm shopping with Better, I'm very honest right off the bat. Better's going to be lower than we are. And if I come in and match them and you send them my estimate, they're going to continue to reduce everything by $1,000, and it's a race to the bottom. Unfortunately, I can't lose $400 million in a year and feed my family. But we can give you excellent service. You will close on time. You will get an extremely competitive, fair market deal. And you know, and so that's how it works. So yeah, we lose some, and that's okay. You can't win them all, but you know, it's kind of the equivalent to when y'all go up against a Redfin or one of these knockoff companies. You know, they're giving me back 1%, they're giving me back 2%. You know, well then you should go do that. You get what you pay for. So what else?
I wanted to add, I have a personal friend that's a local appraiser, and he told me he declines 10 orders a day. So if he has that much extra business, then he's obviously going to do business with people he's done business with for 20 years. So just thinking that they decline 10 orders a day is pretty overwhelming. And those 10 orders are the Quickens, the Betters, I hate to say it, Wells Fargo, Chase, those will be the first ones they don't do. And they'll do the local lenders they've had relationships with for years. So it's a difficult time for everyone these days, right, in the appraisal world.
And that's just one guy.
Yeah, it's just one guy. Crazy.
What else?
Candy,
do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I've been in the mortgage business in the Austin area for a very long time. And I do understand that service is really what we have to offer you. Everything else is really just a commodity, rates, fees, but service is the differential thing with all of us. And just want to commit to you that we'll offer you the highest level of service. Please put my cell phone number in your phone. If you need something Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, please text me. If someone applies and needs a pre-qual letter to meet a deadline on Sunday, please text me. We'll pull the app in, get you the letter, and get you in a position where you can make an offer on the home. So just please utilize us that way as your partner in all of this.
Kenny, will you give them your cell phone number?
It's 512-797-5580.
Awesome.
And please text, call me whenever you need me. I'm happy to help any way I can.
I have another question.
Yeah.
That kind of piggybacks onto that. So I had a listing this weekend with 20 offers. And when you see that many offers, it gives you insight into what your competition as a buyer's agent is. I have always put no buyer approval days needed on the third-party financing addendum if they use loan people, because I know you guys have vetted them. Is that, can we do that as a blanket for the most part?
Yes. What I would say is, if there are some times where people will not provide us with stuff and they need a letter quickly. And so we try to accommodate. I think that it's fair to just ask the question. As you know, Casey, and you work with Misty all the time, if there is an issue, we'll let you know. So it's not a terrible idea to ask the question, but frankly, you've got an option period anyway, right? So even if you go ahead and do it as a blanket, we'll be able to figure this out in that option period. And honestly, we're not sending out 99.9% of the time when we send out their pre-qualified letter, that they're good. If we send out a letter and they're not fully vetted, you're going to know that going into it. So.
Okay, that's great. I had one offer come in and it was a loan people and it said 12 days. And I'm like, whew. But anyways, it wasn't the winning offer anyways. And then because I'm trying to think of ways I can win deals. So if I do that, and then if I put a close date at 3 weeks, are you guys comfortable? So I heard you say that. So you're comfortable with that?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna do that going forward.
If the loan amount's over $1.5 million,
okay,
just holler at us first, because some of those we can still do, some of those we can't.
Got it.
So what else?
When would you expect to get the appraisal back if you put 3 weeks in?
A week before closing. So if I got a contract today, I could close it on the 9th, and I'd expect to have the appraisal back by the 2nd.
Cool.
Now, again, we could get it back faster if we wanted to pay a rush fee. I don't know that that's always necessary. Joe asked a question on here. It's not for me to answer, but isn't 0 days the same as checking no approval necessary? And what I will say is I get that question a lot. Brokers have a difference of opinion on this. Some would say, yes, it's the same thing, but if you remove the approval, then does that impact if you don't have a full appraisal waiver and the appraisal short, is there an impact there on that? I don't know the answer to that. I've heard yes, I've heard no, and that's kind of not my lane. So I'll defer to Lauren and Eric on that one. You know, but if you've got a full waiver, a full appraisal waiver, I don't think it would make a difference. The only piece of that is if the property itself is a problem, not value, but you know, if the appraiser sees that there's possible foundation issues and they call for structural engineer's report, and the structural engineer's report comes back and says the foundation's shot and it has to be fixed, but then the property doesn't meet loan standards. And I don't know if you don't have that approval as part of it, if the property approval goes into that. So. Anything else?
Are those issues pretty few and far between as far as things like that you just mentioned with the
Yeah,
appraisers finding off the wall stuff that they're going to require to be fixed?
Yeah, it's very rare. And usually when it comes up, you already know about it.
Right.
Right. Or there's something in the seller's disclosure or there's it's not a surprise. I can't even think of when we had something that was actually a surprise to everybody.
Yes, here's my cell phone number again. It's 512-797-5580. And if you want to send me a text with your name, I'll save you in my phone. Then I'll make sure I get you quickly. Yes, that's correct, Tyson.
Cool. All right, guys. I don't have anything else unless you guys do. And we'll see y'all. We've got a happy hour coming up next month at Santa Rita. So for all of y'all that are able to make it, please do. It's a lot of fun. We'll have a DJ out there as well, food and drinks. So please make sure to come to that. And thank you guys for having us on and for always trusting us. And we appreciate all you guys very much.
Thank you. I look forward to working with you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great day.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Likewise.